Let's make this cold shoulder handkerchief blouse together. I made it as a gift for mom and it's so easy to make. I used 1.5 years of Ankara fabric for this project. You can use any kind of fabric you like, it will work well. The measurement for this project includes the length of your blouse and the measurement from the center of your neck to your sleeves. Please look on the screen on how I went about the measurement. The total length of my blouse will be 26 inches, but I'll be subtracting 5 inches to give me 21 inches. This is because I'll be adding strap, and I'll add 2.5 inches seam allowance so that I'll fold in at the top part and the bottom part. The center of my neck to sleeve measurement was 24 inches and I multiplied that by 2 to have 48 inches, then plus 2 inches seam allowance. The 50 inches part is going to be a long one and unfold, so do not cut it out. Once I'm done with the folding, I'll start off by measuring. As you can see, I've subtracted the 5 inches, and on the waist side I'm marking the 50 inches down, and once I'm done I'm going to cut it out. Since this was cut on fold, I'm going to go ahead to separate these two pieces by cutting through. I've gone ahead to fold on the width part and I'm going to notch the center. You can use a chalk to do this, and I'm opening it up at this point. From this center, we are going to be marking first the points you want our straps to be attached. I used 5 inches for this, and from that point I measured 9 inches away for the cold shoulder parts. You can make it 8 or 10 inches depending, or just measure round your armhole and divide by 2 and use that measurement. The next step was turning the wrong side of the fabric and aligning them with the points I notched earlier. Just be very careful so that the length of your blouse will be the same. From where the cold shoulder measurement ends, that's where you mark that 9 inches, go down by 1 inch and take this point through the edge of the fabric. You are going to do this for 2 sides and draw a line. That line will serve as a guideline for your stitching. So when you are done, stitch that part. While sewing, I stitch under part twice to secure the stitch. Cut out your straps. Since I subtracted 5 inches from one side, for the front and the back will be 10 inches, but I cut out about 14 inches. We'll be discussing why I left about 4 inches seam allowance later. The width of my straps is about 4 inches, so when I sew it on fold, it will be about 1.5 inches when I'm done. I folded it, and that's how I'm going to be sewing. I'm done stitching that part, and this is what it looks like. I'll be using my safety pins to turn the straps out. This is what it looks like, and you should press the seam towards the center. Repeat same for the other strap. For the main blouse part, turn it out like this and then fold in that edge and pin down. Continue folding in and pinning till you get to the edge of the fabric. You are going to do same for the other side till you get to the edge. You are going to be sewing using about 1/8 or 1/4 inch seam allowance from the edge. When you are done with that, move over to the side, fold in and sew as I've shown. But before sewing, please draw the guidelines once again. Make it a bit longer, like maybe 1 to 2 inches, since you are going to be folding in that part. Do this on the 2 sides so that placing of the straps will be very easy for you. I'm done with the sewing and it's time to place the straps for sewing. Pick one of the straps and fold as I've shown. Then using your tape, mark out 5 inches first. When you are done marking the 5 inches, mark 1 inch and repeat same on the other side. When you are done with that, do not cut out, just leave it that way, set aside. Let's move on to attaching it to the blouse. At this point, I'm just checking once again to make sure everything matches. From the mark for the strap, go down by 1 inch, and that the second 1 inch part you measured later on the strap, just make sure those 2 points align. And we are going to pin down these points and sew. When you are done sewing, flip it over this way and you are going to sew round that points. I've done same for the opposite side and for the other side. As you can see, I'm done with the sewing. At this point, I'm going to mark out the bust and hip measurement so it can easily be worn. So fold the fabric into 2, just as I'm doing, so that we can mark out the center points. From that point, draw a straight line down. This is going to be the guideline for imputing our measurements. And then from that center, I'm just marking her bust measurements divided by 4, which is 10 inches, plus 2 inches for ease, and for the hip, 1/4 of the hip measurements plus 2 inches. I'm reading these points to make a line. This line is going to guide my stitches. Then from the top part, I'm coming down by 10 inches from that point so that the hands can pass easily through it. Just measure your armhole plus 1 inch. I've made same for the other parts, and I'm going to be stitching there on this right side twice to secure the stitch. And that is it. I'm done with the sewing, and I love the way the blouse came out. I'm just going to cut out the excess thread, fold it neatly and package it so I can give it to her. Thanks for staying with me. If you watched this point, please do not fail to like, subscribe and comment on my video. I love you all. Thank you. She loved the blouse and requested I make a matching shirt, so I'll be making that in another video.